This will be a quick video about the frequently used payees list, how to expand it, and how to potentially resolve an error that you might see when entering a transaction in the register that's not in your frequently used payees list. Now here on the settings page, we have the default frequently used payees, just some sample entries that are in there. This table is fairly long, but you can certainly add to it. However, there is a potential little problem here. There happens to be one cell under there that I accidentally have as a merge center format. You might notice that there's not a gray line in there. So you all want to find that cell and click on the merge and center button to deactivate that merge and center that's there. And after doing that, now if I have my cursor in the last row and hit the tab key several times, that will add more rows to the table. Another option is to visit the table design menu, click on resize table, and here it's got a, like for example, right now it's got 45. If I click at the end of that entry there and backspace and put in like a larger number, I'll put in 60, click OK. That will expand that table even larger. So you can put in certainly a large list in there. Now, one thing I do recommend is if you do put in some entries in here, for example, I might put in Lowe's and make that maybe a household item. You probably will want to keep this list sorted alphabetically. So if my cursor hits here in this first column under the data menu, you can find the choice to sort A to Z to keep that list in alphabetical order. Another quick tip is that if you get a really long list of entries, when you go to look at this from the drop-down list on the register, weird little quirk of Excel is it's actually helpful to have the first row be a blank row. So if my cursor is here in this first entry and I visit the home menu, I can click on the insert button and just make sure that first row is blank. It just helps with the sorting. So back here in a register, if I visit that register choice, click the drop down, I will now see that I've got a Lowe's entry in there. And that's great. But again, if you go to just manually type in any word or entry and you get some sort of an error message, here's how you can resolve that. And again, this might happen with a slightly older version of Excel. But we're going to get our mouse just at the seam of this black and blue areas, and I want to see that arrow turn to a black arrow pointing down. And I'm going to click, and that's going to highlight the tables column. And after doing so, we're going to visit the data menu, and there's a button right here for data validation. It's next to the text to column. So I'm going to click on data validation. Now, if you happen to get some sort of a message before this pops up about maybe expanding the selection or that there's different data validation settings, be sure to acknowledge that yes, you want to go ahead and clear or have your new settings take effect. But the screen we want is that the settings will be set to allow a list and that the source should be equals payees _list. And then you're going to want to go to the error alert section here and just turn off this top option here. We don't want it to show any sort of an error alert if we're not putting in an entry that's already there. So again, you should be able to put any text in this box and it should work. And so those settings should help.